we're talking about clay, how to get clay, where to buy it, where to receive it, how are we going to do ceramics without clay. Hello, I'm Jess Michiko and I'm the artist behind Pepino Matcha. Welcome back to my channel. We'll be doing a series called Affordable Ceramics. Yes, we want to make ceramics available to everyone that can afford it. So follow me along this journey and I'll be taking you step by step on how to do this at home. I know there's tons of videos out there already talking about this topic, but when I first started out, there was no one taking me along the way with them. There was no one showing me.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And I don't know if you're similar to me where you need to see that. Like sometimes I watch videos on going to a place before I even go there just to know what I need to experience. So hopefully this video can help you start your journey in ceramics and teach you that you don't need to pay expensive fees in order to practice ceramics.
Now that's quality content. That's the kind of stuff that I can really appreciate. I stand by this and whatever this is.
I feel if you're getting into ceramics, you're going to want to do more than one class. You're going to want to experience each stage and experiment and have the tangible opportunity to really understand and get to know the clay and your own creativity, your own artwork.
I think probably nothing will teach you more than just experimenting. Do as many different things as you have the nerve to do. Shoo, just go for it.
I want you to be able to continue doing this and figure out and experiment if you like it or not. And if you don't, then you didn't invest too much into it. So follow me along. I'll be posting a video from the series every other week, and hopefully it will be helpful and you can start your own journey into ceramics. Yay! Wild clay is going to be your cheapest option if you're an intermediate ceramic artist. And what do I mean by that? It is the cheapest to get clay. That is true. However, I do think that as a beginner, you're going to need to invest in some materials and or make the materials in order to process your own wild clay. It takes time, it takes work, and I feel if you're going to take that step in trying out wild clay and starting with ceramics with wild clay, then you're going to want to do this long term. And so if you believe that that's a part of you and you're going to stick with this hobby, then that's fabulous. Venture into obtaining your own wild clay and processing it and getting it started. And if you're into doing that, I'll post a video down below of a ceramic artist who is experienced in what he calls primitive ceramics. Now that's not a very nice word that I like to use in order to talk about the types of ceramics he's into. All that to say, if you want to get into that, totally fine if you are a beginner, but the video will be down below, so you can learn about that. Now what my video will be going into is just buying your clay. I know you'll still have to buy it, but once you buy it, you'll see you get like this big of a block of clay. A lot of clay to use and keep using. You can do so much with this much clay. And for a long time, I've made pieces that are very small and that are just the palm of your hand. So it doesn't require a lot of clay. Now I'll be talking about clay bodies. There are 3 different types of clay bodies. We have porcelain, stoneware, and earthenware. And porcelain, she's great. She's amazing. She's lovely. She's high fire. She's high maintenance. She's a goddess, but understand that she comes with a lot of work. I just started into porcelain, and everything people say is true. And if you go through a bunch of Reddit threads and the internet, you'll learn that porcelain is the devil's clay, and there are tons and tons and tons of well-skilled expert ceramic artists that don't use porcelain. So, you know, it's it's a lot. And if you're a beginner, sure, you could try her out, but just know that you're gonna get cracks. You're gonna get her in all her glory, but also in all her frustrations. If you're a beginner, I would basically start with stoneware and earthenware, and those are gonna be your best bets. And when I first started out, my ceramic studio teacher mentioned that low fire is the best for beginners because it's the most forgiving once it goes into the kiln. Take that information what you will. I am not sure if that's like an expert level of understanding ceramics. I'm not sure. But basically, earthenware, just know that it is very porous. It hasn't been fired fully, as they call vitrified, which means that when it's in the kiln, it's fired to closer to glass, meaning that it doesn't hold water as much. So the higher you go in the kiln, then for firing, then the less water, the more water resistant it is. You can still use earthenware if you use glaze. Food safe glaze will be an extra layer on top of your clay that will seal off that water access, and so it will be water resistant. Yeah. Then you have stoneware. Stoneware is great. I personally only fire as high as mid-fire. Mid-fire is awesome. It's great. It's good for dishware still. That's the clay I'm going to be using for this video. I'm going to buy a stoneware, and that's what I'm used to. I like it for hand building or the wheel. It's just very versatile. It's very great. And a lot of ceramic artists work in stoneware. So Grog is basically, if I get this right, let's see, it is clay that has already been fired in the kiln and crushed up into fine bits and put back into clay, like the base of the block of clay. It's been put back into that. If you want your clay to have grog, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It depends on what you want to make out of your clay. If you're going more into sculpture work, it's fabulous. It works great. If you want to do the wheel with it and you're a beginner, grog is going to keep your structure and your stability very well if you're not that skilled into doing the wheel. So grog is grog. Yeah. Well, that's all I have right now for talking about all the clay and information. Again, I'll link some more experts down below that talk and expand on these topics way more. They have way more knowledge than I do, and they are not gatekeeping it. They are sharing with us for free on YouTube University. So please access that, give them some love and support, and let's get into researching some clay. Okay, hello. Welcome to my desk, which is literally one step away of where we were. So today we're going to be researching some clay, on where to get clay, how to obtain it, and so on and so forth. So in order to get started on ceramics, you need to know what type of fire you're going to fire at. That's going to be your first thing you want to know before getting your clay, because if you get a low fire clay and then someone is firing at cone 5, you won't be able to use the clay in their kiln. So let's figure that out first. For this series, we're going to be using Kilnshare. It's a website that shows you people who have kilns in their area and will pay for you to use their kiln. You'll pay them. They won't pay you. You'll pay them to use their kiln. And also, it's affordable if you don't have a kiln. And if you're starting out, you definitely probably don't have a kiln because it's expensive, girl. Yeah, so we're going to be searching, and there's a lot available all world round. There's not much. There's mainly the UK and the US. So remember that there's not going to be much if you're in other areas. If you have space for it, you can probably make your own pit fire, which there are videos out there on YouTube on how to make your own pit fire. But if you're someone like me who doesn't have the room because I'm in the city, that's not gonna be accessible, is it? So I will be looking for something that's gonna be easier to get to, easy access. I don't want to drive too far, but I think going to do this, I'd probably say within 30 minutes if you can find something. So I have 3 options that I can do in my area. Let's see, they fire to cone 404. So that's going to be low fire. Anything with a 0 in front of it is low fire. Everything after is mid to high. So, and sometimes it will even say right here, it will say, I only fire low fire clay. All sculptures must be hollow and bone dry. The next, this person fires to cone 6. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be looking for mid-range. So cone 5 or 6 is the sweet spot I'm going to be looking for this video. They can do, the bisque firing is a low fire. That's typically what my studio does, is when they bisque wear it, which is the first firing, it's at low. And then for glaze firing, it's 5 or 6. Although she does say you need to provide your own cookies. And what cookies are is, it's a fully fired piece of clay that's like in the shape of a giant cookie. And you put that on top of your piece so that if glaze runs, it will run onto the cookie and not ruin the kiln shelf, which is important because you don't want to pay for someone's kiln. We're trying to be accessible here. So just be aware, this person requires cookies for each piece. The last one, drop-offs to be coordinated with the owner. Kilns are usually fired every 2 weeks, but they bisque to 05. But they do fire to cone 6, so we like that. All right, so let's contact these 3 owners and hopefully they'll get back to me pretty quickly. So the only information we need right now is just to know if we have access to fire at what we want to fire. If this was the only one that I can find, just know that they only fire low fire. So you would have to only pick low fire clay. For now, once we've figured out that we can fire at the temperature that we want to, now we'll go into researching the clay. So it looks like we can get some mid-fire clay in Amazon. Things to be aware of when looking for clay, you can buy it directly from Amazon. That's great, but do we want to support Amazon? For such a niche art field and knowing that everything is expensive, it's best to support, artists and studios still. Even though you can't afford their classes, maybe you can afford their clay. And so that still supports them. In order to find this, I would put in ceramic studios near you and then just call around to see if they offer selling clay. Most of the time they do. Most of the time they sell clay for their students and for people. So just ask and call around. Or, if you're a little introverted, you can just follow along with me and pick not going into and supporting like bigger companies like Amazon. That's, it's okay. Again, this whole video is just to make it accessible for you to do ceramics. So no shame if that's where you're getting your clay, but once you get more invested in ceramics, I would highly, highly, highly recommend supporting your ceramic artists and ceramic studios that are in your area, because they need to stay around for other people to join and to take classes. So your support goes a long way, even if you're just buying like a $20 bag of clay or 25. If you're in Southern California, the main places to buy clay is going to be Aardvark, which is located in Santa Ana area. Let's go through it. Let's see. You can see the prices here. You get a 25-pound bag of clay. That's huge. That's like, you can also just look around. There are clays that are more expensive, like obsidian, is 38. That's a popular one because it fires black, as you can see in the picture. There's also something so cheap as to 17.25. That may not sound super cheap to some people, but if you're looking at all these prices all together, that's going to be your best bet. 17.25 is the lowest I've seen so far on this website. So you can kind of just read. The shrinkage rate is just like how, like, you're going to make a piece and then in the fire, because if you think about it, if it's in the kiln, it's going to like steam off and shrink. It's going to reduce all that water from it. So just know that the percentage is based off of that, of the shrinkage rate. I wouldn't pay too much attention to shrinkage rate, because if you're getting into it, you'll start to understand the size difference of when it comes out of the kiln from when you built it. So, but in the beginning, I wouldn't worry about that, because again, we're just trying to get used to this medium and just to have fun. But if you're like super gung-ho in the beginning, you can look into that. So just all this one says great for glaze fit. Awesome. Not really sure what that means, but I guess it's great for glazing. There's just all this stuff. Yeah, there's warning signs about on clay, because if clay has silica, and there is silica can get into your lungs and damage your lungs. It's also called ceramic lungs. It is a disease and it is very cancerous. So you don't want to do that. We'll talk about how to do ceramics very safely in your home, because you are in your home, and to minimize that. But they do put the warning signs on there. A good thing to look here, it says this one's out of stock, so beware. So we can, let's do this $17.25, and we'll continue. Oh, we'll check out. So that's in our cart, and it doesn't say the shipping because we haven't said anything. If you're in the area, you can just, and you're an introvert, you can just like put it in your cart and then, go pick it up, and then you don't have to pay for shipping. I actually bought my very first bag of clay from Aardvark, and I ordered it online. I thought it was going to be pretty busy for some reason, but when I picked it up, I was like, wow, there's like no one here. Okay, so that's good to know. So they'll actually be sending that information through PayPal. The other location that I personally go to, and I love their clay, is Laguna Clay Company, and they are located in Industry City. I know on Laguna's website you can't really order it the way you can, like you can at Aardvark. Like, you have to purchase there. I think you can order like bulk items on their website, like place an order and then go pick it up. But for the most part, I don't think they ship, like Aardvark does. But these are the options, and they don't have their prices on their website the way Aardvark does. So just know, if you're scrolling through this, it gives you like a little tile and it tells you like what it goes. Now, I'm a very visual person. I want to touch the tiles. I want to like know what the clay is going to feel like. So we're actually going to go to Laguna Clay Company in this video. Laguna is very popular amongst the ceramic community. And so if you follow other ceramic artists, you'll see that Laguna box. It's very signature look. Laguna clay is just awesome. I know a lot of studios like buy bulk from Laguna and they ship it to their studio. So if you go to a more community studio or a studio in your area, you're more than likely to get Laguna clay. Laguna is great. I love their clay. I continuously use them. So there are options you can get on Amazon. You can also get some at Blick. Blick has them. You can purchase either on their website or directly in their shop. I've seen them have it. If you're also in SoCal area, I believe in Westminster, there is an art supply warehouse. They also sell ceramic clay. It is from Aardvark. So if you're closer to Westminster than you are to Santa Ana, you can get clay there. Apparently you can get clay at Michael's. You get 10 pounds of clay for $13.99. So see, there's Laguna. Laguna's right here. You can get some in Seattle Pottery Supply Place if you're near Seattle. You can do that. Apparently you can get from Hobby Lobby. I do not support Hobby Lobby for various reasons, but you can do that. I've used Amazon clay. I was gifted Amazon clay from Amazon. I was given terracotta, and it was wonderful. It was great. Very heavy. Remember, if you get clay from Amazon and you get that box to your door, it's gonna be heavy. So know that. If you can't lift heavy things, maybe be aware that you're gonna need some help from someone, because they just like right at your door. Yeah, they don't make it easy sometimes. Yeah, there's tons and tons of options on how to get clay. I would, again, we're working mainly with ceramic clay. So for polymer clay and also air dry clay, know that that's going to come up if you search online to buy clay, and that's not what we're looking for. That is a different type, and also link a video down below talking about air dry and polymer clay and the differences between that and how it's working. Well, we're just going to mainly focus on, again, ceramic clay because we want to do ceramics. All right, so let's go and get some clay then. Come along with me. All right, let's head to Laguna. This place is like 45 minutes from us, but honestly, we don't mind the drive at all. It's like a little nice adventure. But you know what? Come along with us, and the beauty of video editing is that you just took a 45-minute drive and we're already here. How cool is that? So look at how beautiful these murals are. I just love them so much. And we get our own parking spot. How cool. I really hope this video is good for you to like know how it is here at Laguna, because you can see the kilns, you can see all the wheels that you can get, but I think the main hitter right here is going to be this sheet where you can see all the clays, the high fire, the mid fire, and the low fire. But we're going to focus on the mid fire, and look at all the options. There's so many. It's got a great selection. Now you'll see two tiles, and they just distinguish what the clay looks like after the firing, and the two distinguish two different firing methods. We're focusing on the left side in this video. That's what it's going to look like. So let's head over to the price sheet, and I'm looking for B-Mix, but this price sheet was so hard to read, my brain just was not computing and could not find the B-Mix. So I finally found it at $21.58. Now these are going to be the lowest costing clay in the mid-fire section, the Mission Red, and also the LB6, which I actually really liked. I thought it was a really cool clay. You can also get these W4 and 5, and you can feel these tiles too. You can see if there's like any grog in the tile, and just feel it. But let me show you the prices. So LB was $13.63, WS 4 and 5 are both $16.38, and the Mission Red is a whopping $11. So you can get a 25-pound bag of clay for $11. That's pretty good. So this is the layout of the store. Sometimes they rearrange things around, but for now this is how it looks. And you can get some stamps, you can get some tools, you can get some underglazes for your ceramics. I was looking here at these underglaze pencils, but honestly there's just so much to choose from here. It's amazing. I usually get tools and clay, but in those paper bags that you see there are glazes. That's like dry glaze for dipping your piece into it, and then these jars, which I'm looking at here, are also glazes that you brush on. And I was checking out these pencils and the glazes for future videos, but honestly, I was astonished by the fact that this pencil is roughly $20. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And the green one back there is $16. Yeah, you can get an underglazed jar for $6. So now I have my B-Mix. And I decided to get B-Mix because I'm going to use it after this series for other things. And you can see the guy back there, he's actually waiting for someone to help him load his car, which is useful because I tried to lift 50 pounds of clay. Probably not the best. Now I'm waving goodbye to the store, but this worker thought I was waving to him. I love it. And because we drove a little bit, we decided to get a little snack. So I got the Jollibee Limited Aloha Chicken Sandwich. And let me tell you, it looks so picturesque. Oh, it's so beautiful. And yes, it did taste exactly how it looks. Delicious. Yeah, I was thoroughly happy with this decision of mine. And yeah, I just love Jollibee. So good. And then we actually got a little drink afterwards to celebrate the fact that we got some clay. We have some clay. And that's it for a little ooting experience. Thanks for listening. Let's head back. But now you have your bag clay and this 25-pound baby here. You'll be able to use it so over and over and over again. So you'll be able to use your clay again and again and again. And you can just keep making things. So stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you how to make your own handmade tools and just use things around your house so you don't have to spend that much money. That will be later. Like and subscribe, follow along, leave a comment on what you would like to see or any advice. And thanks for watching. Bye. So my partner said that I'm not a real ceramic artist unless I do a fit check. This is my fit. And let's do it with the bag of clay that we got.